The early 2000s was a period of instability and uncertainty for Mindanao. The implementation of the 1996 peace agreement of the Philippine government with the Moro National Liberation Front was precarious under the administration of President Joseph Estrada, who launched in 2000 an all-out war against the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, another Moro revolutionary group. The autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao, which has envisioned as the political structure for Moro self-governance in line with the 1996 peace agreement, was ineffective, and its leadership generally perceived as lacking in capacities, corrupt, and driven by their own political and economic interests. The failures of the ARMM to promote peace and economic development fueled people's disbelief of autonomy as a solution to the Moro rebellion. Instead of forcing submission of the Moro people to government's brand of autonomy, Estrada's all-out war further radicalized the revolutionary fronts to revert its historical demand for independence. It is in this context of deadlock, uncertainty, and hopelessness in Mindanao's future that the Institute for Autonomy and Governance, or IAG, was born. Started in 2001 as a program under the College of Law of Notre Dame University in Cotabato City under Dean Benedicto Bacani, and inspired by University President Father Eliseo Mercado Jr. of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate, IAG developed into an independent institute devoted to research, training, and technical assistance to evolve genuine autonomy and good governance as a way to peace and development in southern Philippines. IAG was incorporated on September 19, 2005. An institutional partnership agreement with the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung in the Philippines was forged in January 2006 that enabled IAG to sustainably implement its core programs. In partnership with Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, IAG's reputation for independence, consistency, inclusiveness, and scholarship is domestically and internationally acknowledged. IAG's regular quarterly reviews, policy briefs, monographs, and discussion proceedings are widely acknowledged as primary resource materials on Mindanao. IAG views autonomy as a broad and evolving concept that encompasses any political structure that is less than an independent state. It sees the promotion of autonomy in the southern Philippines as strategic. It provides the country's minority Muslims and indigenous peoples platforms to evolve self-governance structures for meaningful self-determination, sustainable growth, and lasting peace. IAG's programs are anchored in the belief that the basic root of the conflict in Mindanao is injustice and underdevelopment, that Mindanao conflict is essentially a political problem that requires a political solution. An evolving and effective and viable vehicle for Moro and indigenous people's self-determination is the core of this political solution. Toward this end, IAG continues to organize policy forums, roundtable discussions, and conferences on the issues of autonomy and good governance. With its institutional partner, Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, IAG has regularly provided capacity-building programs focusing on the processes of policy formulation and legislation to the ARMM Regional Legislative Assembly and its constituent local government units. It has provided technical assistance in the crafting of regional laws in the ARMM. IAG assisted in the establishment of the Iranon Development Council, an economic and development aggregation of 5 contiguous local government units in Mindanao. IAG helped raise capacities of LGUs, military and police in peace building, and security sector reforms. With the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung and development consultants, IAG brought to the mainstream of real plight of non-Islamized indigenous peoples in the mainland ARMM, calling on authorities to enhance mechanisms for the protection of the indigenous people's rights. IAG has provided technical assistance in the drafting of Bangsamoro Basic Law, particularly in the areas of transitory mechanisms and processes, decentralized and ministerial system of government, elections, and political party systems. It has conducted consultations with LGUs in the proposed Bangsamoro core areas for submission to the Bangsamoro Transition Commission. With the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, IAG is helping develop political parties in the Bangsamoro. IAG engages in political leaders in dialogue, capacity building, and studies to enhance their informed and principled participation in the crafting and implementation of the roadmap and processes for sustainable peace and development in Mindanao. As a homegrown public policy center with strong national and international linkages, IAG is able to help raise the bar of regional and local public policy making to international standards, even as it maintains sensitivity to the complexities and peculiarities of local settings, earning the trust and respect of a broad range of stakeholders. This reputation emboldens support and participation in IAG programs of groups and leaders from a broad spectrum of ideological and political leanings. By involving all stakeholders in discourses and capacity building on autonomy, governance, and political solutions to the Mindanao conflict, IAG has contributed to the robust and constructive debate towards building on the foundation for the hard task of evolving an autonomous, democratic, just, and accountable political structure in Southern Philippines.